Hey Virgo, thank you for choosing the flowering for your chapter 1 of 2019 reading. I sure hope that these first few days of this chapter have been treating you well, that you are putting the pieces together. That was one of the messages that came in, was puzzle pieces, right? So I hope that you're able to kind of integrate some of the things that were brought to your awareness, ending the year, even just over these last couple of days. I've been getting a lot of downloads, so I imagine that since you're my sister sign over there, maybe you have too. And I hope I said that right, because I think it's Virgo. Might be Taurus. Either way, it applies, I think. I really should get my astrology book out more. Anyway, so but maybe that's something, that's happening in your environment where it's like, on one hand, I feel like if you've done things a certain way all this time, you may be stepping outside of a norm. You know what I mean? You may be just saying, this is my normal reaction to this. This time I'm going to do this. This is the normal way I would handle something. This time I'm going to do this. And it makes sense with the actual message that I ended up using as the title, New Hats. I don't get the sense that even you're trying to be some new person. It's just like there's definitely changes that have been occurring, even if they've only been within your own mind, right? Because there are certain things that we shift into, and our environment won't let us outwardly portray what our mind and our spirit is doing. I say it won't let us allow, but there's some level of non-acceptance or resistance or opposition in our environment that won't allow the full expression of what we have now become. And whatever these new hats, whatever these new ideas, new concepts that you're integrating are, it's kind of rocking the boat. It's kind of breaking up the status quo in your life, the norm in your life. Things that would normally bring you fulfillment and excitement, they're still bringing you a certain level of that, but it's just under the surface. It's almost as if that this hat doesn't fit you anymore. You've outgrown that one. So there's definitely some maturing, and it's really shaking you up. And I feel like because you're Virgo, you're staying pretty grounded in it. It's not like it's throwing you off course, but it's definitely something that could take you by surprise. That you're seeing less and less interest in certain things that once really, really, really took you there. They really did something for you. Yeah, Virgo, there's some things. I feel like it's a huge maturity shift, like a huge shift in like what it is that you want to be about. Virgo, I see the Hermit card, in my eyes right now. And it's almost as if, Virgo always does have a higher perspective. They always do have a broader perspective. But sometimes their environment restricts the development of those ideas and concepts that you hold. And it's almost innate, this wisdom, that you hold. And a lot of times there's a mother energy or an energy over you, period, in your environment, period, that doesn't necessarily allow you to step into full potential. It doesn't let you rise above the lower self, right? Lower self is only being, maybe the first three chakras or the first two chakras, you know. Lower self, middle self, who we really are as beings here on earth, and then higher self, who we are when alignment with the higher realms, you know. So what are these new hats though that you're putting on, you know? What is it that you're stepping into, and have you come to the understanding of how this shift affects you, where it's meant to take you? We don't always have all the answers, or we don't always get to have the answers right away. But have you even just had the recognition or the realization that these hats, these roles, these new roles that you're stepping into, these new facets of self, I say new, but these facets of self that you're newly coming into partnership with, right? You're partnering with these facets of self that, have been on the back burner because of where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, what you're attached to, I hear that this is like root chakra stuff, like where I belong, what I'm about, who I am to the core of me, you know what I'm saying? So there's definitely some newness. And I get the feeling that, if there is anything still opposing this shift that your soul is dying to make, that you're going to do it, or you're not say you're going to do it, but you're going to face it. You're going to stand up against it. I hear escape it even, you know what I mean? So it's like, and you're going to find joy and contentment in that too, because I'm looking at my scrying bowl and it's like the hat, but at the brim of the hat creates this big open smile, and I feel like it's like your soul is going to be smiling, your guides are going to be smiling, whoever is supporting you and loving you in this moment, actually loving you, you'll be putting a smile on their face, and at the root of it, you'll just be proud of self, for really stepping into this new version of you. It's like something I'm saying is like pirate's eye. So something covering one eye over the other, and it would be this one. So however that looks or feels for you, because I have no idea what that means. What happens when you uncover this one? What is revealed? What are you allowed to see? I'm trying to get you a meditation here. It's not choosing one though. Okay. Old tapes. Have your mother make a tape telling you how wonderful you are. Oh. I live in the now. Old tapes of my childhood used to run my life. Most people have about 25,000 hours of parent tapes running through them. Many of these old tapes had a lot of negative messages in them, lots of criticism and shoulds. Now I'm choosing to erase and retape new positive messages. I listen to my inner thoughts, and when I catch one that makes me feel uncomfortable, I turn it around. So retape the old messages. You don't have to obediently listen to the old stuff. Just retape. I know I am a capable person. I need to say that again, I think. I know I am a capable person. I know I am worth loving. I really believe I am worthy of a wonderful life. I have a purpose in being here. I have the power to change the tapes. These old negative messages are not the truth of my being. Earlier when I was getting messages from the Scrying Bowl, I said, what are these old hats or these new hats, right? And really, I feel like after reading that, the question is, who wears the hat now? You know, who's in authority over your life? What's still keeping you? What is this opposition to you stepping into? I heard adulthood or your own personhood. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, the Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Wands is what kept showing when I was doing the early shuffling. And the Queen of Wands is often depicted, that's often a mother figure, you know, someone who's always had a certain influence on who you are, how you see yourself, okay? And when they talk about this is really, really a huge thing with the Divine Masculine, you know. The Divine Masculine often is finding himself healing from whatever, and I say we're talking just mom, but you know, we're talking mom and dad. So whatever the parents were, this feels for me, for this group, it could be very residual from how the relationship was with mom and dad, you know. And you know, often in movies we see where a dad leaves and then the mom has this son here. And whatever that mom was trying to work through on her own regarding the dad often is poured onto the son, right? Whatever that may be, because that could be, I mean, an extreme as far as this person, the son, actually becoming a partner to the mom, you know? I see that a lot in movies now, and it always catches my attention. And excuse me, validation. It catches my attention because it's an interesting dynamic that happens. Hello, hello, hello. When the mother or the remaining parent, the one who's responsible for raising this child, because it can totally go the other way with a father and a son, or a father and a daughter, who's ever left with the responsibility is dealing with their own stuff in regards to this. And this child still being there can either turn into a punching bag, okay, can be pointed out as the cause or the blame, receive a lot of blame. A lot of the criticism that the parent holds about the process, how they played it, how they dealt with it, could be laid up on a child. You know, there's lots of stuff there. So Virgo, you know, as you move into this first chapter, Inanna, excuse me, y'all. All right. So as you move into this new chapter, we are all, the collective is being urged to release these things, these tapes, this programming. And it doesn't matter how long you feel like, you know, you're not behind. We're all coming into everything on our own, on schedule. You know what I mean? We're coming into these acknowledgments on schedule. So I feel the need to say that if these tapes, these images of self, if these attachments are based on, you know, something outside of you, or, you know, you having to work extra hard to be something or to prove yourself, or, you know, because this energy doesn't just have to be parents. It could be repeated behaviors in relationships, you know. It could be, you know, maybe quitting so many jobs and then you finally are succeeding and you're now releasing that old tape of I'm unemployable, or I can't do this with this condition. Yes, I feel the need to bring that up as well. People diagnosed early on as children with certain learning disabilities, or, you know, ADHD, things like that, as they grow into adulthood after they've been told their whole life that you know, somebody's always told them exactly how to do something, when to do something. You know, it works as a child, okay? It works because it helps to keep you, you know, kind of like running, right? But when you move into adulthood and independence, you know, there comes this need to adopt your own viewpoint. You know, it's time for you to put on the hat, for you to take the reins. And this is not in rebellion, but in support of your own development, your own growth, okay? Excuse me. We all have a self. You know, we talk about those three selves: lower self, middle self, and higher self. So we have these different selves, and our soul desires to continue to ascend, expand, and grow until we are walking in our higher self every day, you know? And sometimes taking the reins of our own life can rock the boat of our environment because other people have gotten so used to being the dictator for what you have going on, how you do things. Most times they do it with no ill intent. Other times there's codependency, you know. But let's see how Virgo is showing up in January of 2019. Virgo. Show me Virgo in 2018. Ooh, yes. Man. It's like it was the Magician card and the High Priestess there, which almost feels like you coming into deeper awareness of how you've always been capable, you've always been powerful of creating this dynamic in your life. Whatever it is that you wanted to build, and whatever it is that you have built up to this point has proven to you that you're capable, that you're magical, that you are powerful, and that you have what it takes to live an independent, successful life. You know, you don't need anybody to pick partners. You don't need anybody to coach you through, whatever. You don't need it as much anymore. You're becoming a lot more self-reliant. This is Virgos at any level. You could be any age and finally come into this place, right? And honestly, I feel like you had to heal first. You know, you had to heal from like codependency. Right now I'm doing Virgo, but on my page we have Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo already posted. There's definitely this level of self-fulfillment, you know, that you're walking into, and you built it on your own. You did it. You know what I'm saying? And even if, no, I say even if, but it's not the case. This is something that you have cultivated in self. It's not reliant on anyone else. Thank you guys for checking in. Yeah, totally go check out the other videos. And I'm almost finished putting up everyone's. So Virgo. Okay, this card. Let's see. Knight of Cups. See? You're leveling up, you know, in your, you know, I feel like self-image, the way you feel about yourself, even the intensity of your emotions, how deeply you're feeling things is changing. It's increasing. I also feel like, you know, your intuition, your own brain power, you're trusting your own power to think for self, okay? It's definitely increasing. Seven of Wands, it's like you're breaking down, you're having a breakthrough. You have an emotional breakthrough. You're having a spiritual breakthrough. And this card wanted to come out too. And it's bringing you to better balance, for sure. I think for some of you, you're going to be recognizing what's contributed, what was being contributed to this, what even energies were contributing to this blockage that was taking place, that was keeping you from really getting to what was facing you, what where were you really facing, and who was holding the door closed, who or what was holding the door closed. And for me, this card tied with the other ones, it feels as if, let me just show you what I see. It feels as if, maybe Virgo, this was you up until this point. We talked about moving into more self-reliance. If this is parents and they've always taken care of you, even monetarily, then you realize now that this was the block. This what was keeping you from from truly adulting. And that makes sense because I have a family member who I've been having that conversation with myself. Sometimes a parent will intentionally, know that that's what you know, that by continuing to be your source of something, that they stay in your good graces, or they always, if you seek their favor, even if it's not money, but for some of you, it is money. For some of you, you finally have stepped away. You're not taking money from family, anybody who's been in that position, who was exercising power over you because they were giving you money or taking care of you in some way. It's like, maybe you're becoming aware of some less than pure motives. And, you hate to think that parents or anybody would do something like that intentionally. But when a person is responsible for your livelihood, it almost gives them the power to withhold things unless you fall into the order that they see fit, right? It's for that reason that a man is a man. I don't know why I came to that. Is supposed to separate from his family, separate from mother and father, so that he can build his own and come into understanding of who he is. So in the month of January, you're really doing that. The star card is Aquarius, and Aquarius is January, right? Frame. So December, January. So yeah, this is lining really up. It's like you're stepping into destiny after you work through this breakthrough. And what I feel like, it's like your confidence, your confidence grows. Your solar plexus is spinning again. You level up in confidence, self-reliance, creativity. And for some of you, you feel encouraged to pursue some creative endeavor, If you're a creator, then you're releasing the tapes that are played about how you're supposed to earn money, how you're supposed to live your life, and you're seeing that you're free because you have built your own foundation for this new chapter in your life. You are free from the outer influence. You can do you. Yeah. It's like your self-mastery happening. Definitely some leveling up, a new level of self-mastery here. And you're not defensive, but you definitely have your armor on. And this armor this confidence, really, I feel like confidence, pride in your accomplishments, even the success, the steps that you've taken to balance out your own, to balance out your need for others, you know, your reliance on others, and then reliance on self. You're not a beggar. You're not the lowly, you know? You're not. Also get the feeling, if we're talking, we're gonna get to romance, but I feel like there's some significance here in this, who you are and how you're showing up. Um, there's some remote romantic influence here about something that needed to be overcome in self, something that needed to be mastered in self, you know, so that you could almost take this leap, so that you could um, even have something to offer. Is how that feels to me. It's funny because both of the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Wands show this person at a stream, and they don't cross the stream. They're not giving to the stream, not affecting the stream at all, right? If anything, the stream is in their path, is something that they have not yet chosen to cross over. So you're healing. You could be healing codependency. You could be healing poverty mindset. Could be healing also, I'm hearing greed, so I'm going to say that, but it feels like the illusion that you have to acquire, stack up. You know, it's normal to want to be conscious of what you have. It's normal to want to build up on that, but it only becomes greed, and it only becomes unhealthy when that's the primary focus, when acquiring things, positions, takes precedence over the other aspects of self, you know, your spiritual self, your relationships with others, your friendships, and even just acceptance of self. Because if that's self, how you view self is tied up in what you've attained, what you can do, then, you know, that is really healing. I feel like that's where you are, Virgo. You're healing a lot of things that are rooted in some old programming, old tapes that are still, that used to play. Could be about emotions and intimacy, sexuality, money. So I pointed out that those two streams over there were almost like in the person's path but not being crossed. And here we are finally surrendering to this body of water and seeing it led you here. For some, I hear like, instead of seeing the crossing of this river as daunting, you know, you followed it. Excuse me. You followed it. This could also be a wish. Maybe you're following a dream of yours. I love it. All right. So how are other people seeing Virgo? Nine of Swords, Ten of Wands. Oh, Magician. Okay. Okay. They're seeing you unloading some of these some of this mental baggage, mental clutter, cleaning some of this out. I also feel that maybe you're reaching out for help from a professional to deal with whatever it is that you are ready to overcome. You know, I feel like you've already been doing the work for some time, but I think maybe your source of information, maybe who you were seeking out, who you were seeking for this wasn't the best option. Not to say they were a bad person, but they may have had their own things that affected the advice that they were giving you. It kind of painted the advice, you know? Almost like, you know, projections, you know, their own personal belief or experience projected onto you and your situation. So totally, I feel as if, you know, we have the Nine of Swords, Ten of Wands, and the Magician. So 9, 10, 1. Definitely see you letting go, see you closing out this cycle. They see that you're stepping up from under the control of something, right? For some, this is some mental manipulation, doubts, fears, anxieties, and plays on how you view yourself. You know, so people are seeing this. People are seeing you unload. The Ten of Staffs, okay, so you go for the Nine of Swords here in the defeated position, okay? Defeated, giving up, you know, not really caring about anything or anyone, right? Because you're really just in your mind, in your own little world with the things that are afflicting you. But the Ten of Wands shows him stepping up on this, right? Stone, mounting himself up, strong. This is not like the traditional Ten of Wands where he seems overburdened. You know, this is really someone, I feel, stepping into their power. Letting other people take their own stuff. So I hear delegating, you know, but delegating in a way of not soaking up everybody else's stuff, not taking in everything that everyone says about you. You're unleashing the burden of criticisms and opinions, and really making your own choice. So you may even be going against what some people have to say. And so they're seeing you as powerful, as, oh my gosh, you know, this person used to be, I used to be able to say this to this person. I used to be able to really affect this person. And you are no longer that. So definitely people see you walking into a whole new chapter of your own power. Your source of power doesn't come, you know, you're plugged into source. You know, there's no what's it called? Though there's no middleman here. You don't need anyone to tell you how you feel or how do you need to process it. Maybe people are seeing as you check things off your list, as you make these minor adjustments and these major accomplishments, your confidence is building. You know, you are very much, people see this. You see you as the magician right now, where you're taking the reins of these things in your life. And I feel as if they know that your eyes are opening to anything that also here, you know, it's not a traditional thing, but I feel like a lot of people are seeing you open up your heart and see things through there, right? See things through there. I have a quote: the heart sees things that the eyes don't. And so there's no amount of anything, resistance, opinion, opposition that's stopping you from moving into this new chapter. I love it. Okay, Virgo, what's work looking like? Money, career. Four of Pentacles, strength, devil. There's another cycle ending here. It's like you're right at the brink of it. Whatever you've, you know, but I do feel like you may be being urged to go ahead and leave a job, change careers. There's some fear associated with it though. And I feel as if you're gonna brave it though. Like you're gonna really, that armor that you put on, the confidence and everything. And I get this, you know, the idea of like being in a corporate setting or having worked really hard to prove to yourself that you could, like I said earlier in the reading, maintain a job, or that you could build something for yourself on your own. And, you know, what you've built and what helped you build it, you know, you're holding really tight to it with the Four of Coins, right? You know, this is your sense of security. This is how I got to where I am. And so what do you mean you want me to let go of it? You know, and I really feel as though you might need to go read the listen to the Leo's reading. So, but if this is a Leo here, then this Leo could be a business partner, could be someone who's giving you advice, even someone who's really just helped you gain your confidence, your footing in a, you know, during a tough time. And now you're seeing that, you know, maybe this is done, that you don't need that security blanket anymore. Yeah. Because I feel this, she's in red too, you know what I mean? So it's all like root chakra stuff. Like this is what I've built my foundation on, or this is how I restabilized. This is where I got my help here. Also, you could be letting go of something that you just thought was destiny, or that you had, maybe you let go of a dream or aspiration for some time. You put it on the back burner. And now you're letting go of this thing that you put in the forefront. And I really get the feeling that it's a job or a certain career direction or path. I get the feeling that you really will be working the month of January. If you have not already walked away from this and kind of stepped into your new endeavor, then you're feeling confident. You know, you're feeling the urge to do so. You feel pushed to do it. And this is the thing. There's some fear that keeps this thing alive, you know, keeps your reliance on this person, job, ideal. There's something there that's keeping you attached to it, right? And look at this person. This is the flame, and then there's flames all back here. Well, in the Four of Pentacles, there's smoke, right? So something, you might be leaving something to burn. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I said back burner. So you may be just leaving something back behind there and letting that be done. Because the Strength card has that smoke in the background too. Yeah. So whatever this thing is, you'd much rather step out of the flames. You'd much rather step out of whatever it is that's holding you there. You want to follow your creative passions. I say creative because, I really do feel like, even if you don't think of yourself as a creative person, there's definitely something that you enjoy doing more. And maybe you see the possibilities of that being what you do. Seven of Pentacles here. It's almost this, as if you're acknowledging that you want the work that you do to be more fulfilling. And to some extent, I feel like what you do is fulfilling, but I feel like, you're expanding beyond even that. Also here, like regimens or routines or um, like dogmatic views about how things are supposed to be. The devil is oddly enough, and I feel like here is kind of rebellion even. The devil is oddly enough draped, his lower self is draped in blue and white. So I get the feeling that, in overcoming this, in facing this, you could also, because there's lots of orange here too in the other cards, there could be lots of, if in the workplace there is some type of romantic energy or some type of connection between intimacy and work, right? If that's there, then you're overcoming that. You're realizing that in order to move into the new chapter, you might have to walk away from that job because whoever this is in the environment is not going to let up, and being under their instruction or under their influence won't allow you to go and step out and do. It won't allow, you can't continue there is what I'm getting. You won't be able to move into the new chapter that you're trying to move into as long as this influence is in your life at all. Especially so if that's like some type of work relationship. Right? um so what is romance looking like for Virgo? Two of Swords. The Hanged Man. Oh, the Five of Swords. Okay. So okay. Jeez. There's definitely someone learning that you're doing. Learning, Five of Swords, you're adopting, you turn yourself upside down with the Hanged Man so you can get a new perspective about whatever this crossroads is that you're at. This choice that you're wanting to make. It's like you allowed yourself to be inverted so that you can see it with different eyes. Maybe you sacrifice you sacrifice something in your environment so that you can pursue something of higher integrity even. I also get the feeling that anybody who felt like, if you feel like your romantic life was in a standstill at all, your life was, even if your life was turned upside down, then you're realizing that this was all done to teach valuable lessons when it comes to romance and spirituality, because there's something there about the way you thought about relationships, okay? Because we have Two of Swords, Five of Swords, the Hanged Man. So with Seven of Swords energy, there was some type of deception, that was cloaking you. And so now you've kind of taken some time to allow yourself to work through something. I get the feeling that this is energy of unfinished business. Maybe you allowed yourself to explore something from the past so that you could honestly get an honest view of it, right? Or you took a break from relationships. In January, you could be doing that. You could just be taking a break so that you can so you can have deeper insight, more clarity about what's happening in your heart space. We got this smoke clearing in the background again. So in romance, I feel like there might be even a reluctance to see that something actually has served its purpose. You could be reluctant to see that something was more of an addiction or a obsession almost of another party. And I hate to be this person, but it's almost as if as you've gained this insight, it's like this stillness that you're having to keep. So if you're in a relationship right now, you have come to an understanding that maybe for some it may just be a really crappy relationship, but for others I get the feeling that even if it's not, even if there is fulfillment there in certain areas, there is a higher perspective that you're taking on relationships, period. And this connection is not following you. It's not growing with you mentally and spiritually. Right? So what I feel is that for some, if there's an unhealthy attachment or even potential for danger or anything like that, then you're making the least amount of noise or conflict as you find your way out. It's almost like there's a sense of peace and smoke clearing. You know, that other person is feeling that energy, like just smoke clearing. You know, that's how I feel. There's a, and this, as this, okay. So this is Five of Swords is usually really like a conflict, right? Of sorts, competition type of thing. So as you kind of make your way out of here, it's like these two people have put their swords there. I was like, no discord, and I feel like probably leave on good terms. But maybe under the radar too, you know, while the other person or while the focus is somewhere else. Whatever this epiphany is, it was unexpected. And whatever this change of mentality is, was also unexpected. I also feel like, you know, maybe you went out and went to meditate at the lake or in the woods, and this is where you had this epiphany. If not, you need to go reconnect with the water, reconnect with the earth, whatever, something that you probably used to do a lot. And I feel like you might need to do that in order to just reconnect with self. Right? Anything else from romance? I feel like one more card. Ooh, okay, yeah. So there's definitely, maybe you're making the choice to be single. Maybe even just, yeah, you could be just making the choice to be single for a while. Completely single. You know, no attachments. If that's not what's going on with you, if you energy, oh, my lights just blinked. Wow. Sorry for that. You know, like my power just shut off and came right back on. And two things, you know, it's like in the blink of an eye, you have a change of perception. Or you know, someone closes their eyes and in the morning, you're not there. Some weird energy. Is that all that I'm supposed to get from that? Oh, goodness. That was deep. Virgo, I realized that I forgot to. No, I didn't. I did read that for you. Ooh, I just felt, you know, if there's an energy of having to strategically process or work your way through whatever this connection is, whatever this thing that is ending, because it's definitely ending after you've reached this higher perspective of it, um, about what you want, what matters to you, or what is still missing. You know, you have Nine of Pentacles here clarifying everything, and you know, you have this epiphany, and it's in an instant. I think it's unexpected energy and unexpected action that you end up taking. Um, Unbeknownst to other parties, or you just end up doing it and it's a surprise, or it's just without the knowledge of others. I say others, but this other person. Oh. Anyway, I don't know what this means. So I hope it makes sense for you guys, because I'm just saying what comes. So that's romance. Let's look at spirituality. Whew, lovers. Ace of Cups. King of Cups. Wow. This is tied deeply to matters of the hearts, first of all. What's on the bottom? Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's definitely in your spirit world, oh yeah, you're choosing paths, you know, and then, you know, a lot of time partnerships, romantic partnerships, especially when you have kind of like a divine path that you're supposed to take. I say divine, we all have divine paths, but I mean, like, if there's a specific course of action that spirit is urging you to take, excuse me, it's as if you're doing it. I really get the feeling, my eyes, I really get the feeling that your eyes have been open to what has been being offered to you. And what is being offered to you was meant to help you mature emotionally. It was to enhance that emotional intelligence, right? I feel as if the things that you've processed through have helped you to come to balance and peace. Okay. Definitely matters of the heart. There's a certain sense of healing, levels of awareness that have been reached. Oh my gosh, my eyes. So, you're definitely choosing love. You're choosing compassion. You're choosing forgiveness. You know, and this is all in the name of higher love, like higher levels of commitment. You know, you're committing to something that your higher self is influencing and inspiring. With the lovers here, you know, we always have this choice. You know, which side of us are we going to nurture most? Like, which one will we lead with? You know, the shadow side doesn't disappear, but it's like, is my shadow side going to be in power, or is my basically, yeah, or is am I going to lead with light? And so for me, I feel like there is a mutual. I talked about earlier, if you find or you feel as if there is something else that you're being led to, and perhaps you didn't really understand it before, you know, because you were shifting as a person, and so because you hadn't yet integrated whatever these lessons were about yourself, about your path, about who you are as a person, and what you're called to be, you know, you feel spiritually that you're being called into path, into partnership with someone. This person could have Gemini in their chart, but when it comes down to it, it's like you've been divinely guided in a direction, and I feel like you're willing to take this calling now. The staff, I feel like, is a calling, right? Call to action. higher wisdom, higher knowledge, cloaked in that sky blue. Mm-hmm. This is definitely your higher self coming into balance, coming into power. You know, all the selves coming into balance. You know, you don't want any, all of them are important, right? And so this is them all coming into balance and allowing you to feel and follow what you feel. This goes from the Ace of Cups all the way to the King of Cups. So there is something, some offer that Spirit had been making to you through whatever means. You know, it could be through a relationship, through work opportunities, whatever. But there's definitely been this option, offer to take on a more heart-centered life path. It's like whatever this, the water is overflowing into this puddle. I feel like, you know, this being offered, you know, I don't think that the value of this was seen before, because this maturity, this emotional and spiritual maturity had yet to be attained. And so you still had preparing to do, you know, before you were able to become and step into this role, to accept this position here, to answer the call of action, to call to action that this cup was offering you. But yet I feel like there's a, almost like a, just like that power outage that just happened, or power glitch that just happened. It's like progress in the snap of a finger. You know, you have, like I said, the Ace of Cups all the way to the King of Cups. That's like from the beginning to full maturity of it. You know, not just Ace to 10, but Ace to King, meaning that you've mastered all the steps 1 through 10, which were um, if you, I say mastered, but whatever you didn't catch when it was still at the Ace of Cups, meaning when it was being offered to you, you have quickly acknowledged what it is, because you have allowed yourself to mature to this King of Cups place, spiritually, romantically, you know, in every aspect, because spirituality is a full person concept, right? Your spirituality should be a part of every endeavor. With spiritual influence is what I'm getting. So really, you were a opportunity in this triangle. And however, at some point you were treating this offer like this. You know, it was super nonchalant. Even turned away from it, like holding it, but like, it's over here, type of energy. But that's changing, which is beautiful. And I do get the feeling that whatever is currently being offered to you in the month of January, or whatever renewal in your heart space, even in the spiritual, whatever a renewal is taking place, or whatever opening is happening, it's going to be so rapid. It's a rapid evolution, okay? Something that takes place really, really quickly. Yeah. And I feel like because of conscious effort for it to move, honestly. Conscious effort for it to move. and surrender, you know, surrender to what it was that you were being called to do. So, what is Virgo leaving behind? Wow. Queen of Staffs, Four of Swords, Three of Swords. All right. So, totally could be leaving behind any bitterness, any anger, any disappointment. You know, I feel like there is definitely a gratitude for what you've been through. I feel like this is not necessarily you're seeing what you're leaving behind is the lack of perspective on what you were dealing with, right? And I also get the feeling that the Queen of Wands showing up, remember, she's often that mother figure, you know, out home maintaining certain dominion over a situation or person, right? And I don't when the Queen of Staffs holds is this one, the one part is it drink, you know, that purple flower is right there. And for the life of me, I can't think of what this purple flower might be. So I'm gonna see if this little handbook tells me anything about it. It's such a tiny book that I doubt there's room for anything else in here. Maybe y'all look into this purple flower. It's making me think of Black Panther. But I feel like I want to read this. So the Queen of Staffs is a dominant female, simple in her pleasures, likable, loyal, and a strong mother. Very strong but loving person, very responsible and caring individual. You can trust what this person says. However, paired with the Four of Swords and the Three of Swords, I would like to read it in reverse. The nurturing, warrior, territorial, sometimes dishonest and spoiled, right? So if it's not a mother energy, then it's definitely somebody who you found comfort in at some point. It's a situation even that you found comfort in at some point. Found home in, you know, you made home there for a while. And I do get the feeling, though, there is a sense of dishonesty or disappointment here. And even though yeah, I hear the question like, you know, is this enough? You know, are you ready yet? Are you ready to move forward? Because this person doesn't seem like, even if it is a partner, it doesn't seem like they're necessarily a bad person. But they may have their interests. Their interests may come before anything else. You know, they said a spoiled person. So I like how, you know, the Three of Swords is here, but then the Three of Swords are hanging on the wall because, you know, you're looking back, it's like, I don't need the fourth sword. I don't need you to do it again. And perhaps there's been a three or four tries in whatever this is, you know, maybe a couple betrayals in this situation. And I don't care whether that's romantic. There's just a certain level of disappointment, you know, something that you're leaving behind when it comes to disappointment and the lessons learned as you journey through this thing with this person or with this energy. What's coming in for Virgo in January? Whew, the Sun card, the Two of Pentacles, and the Chariots. Okay. So with some bit of maneuvering, or really having to like juggle things. You know, I think that you're doing it, though, with a sense of optimism. So there is some optimism coming in about how to handle a situation, how you're going to best move forward from whatever this is. And actually, I do get the feeling that you may even have some support or some help come in to help to move you forward past this, right into this path. You know, it's like you can move right into it with the help of someone else. So there is could be a Cancer here that could come in to really help you make this shift over to the new path that's been presented. But there's definitely forward movement with optimism. You know, I see leaving behind three and four of swords energy, where there's just a constant raining down on you, right? Raining on your parade. And you finally, you know, you retire this thing before it goes back to, I feel like you've been through this whole cycle with this. You know, it's gone to 10. And now you're like, okay, 3, 4. Oh, I know what this looks like. I'm not doing this again, you know. And so you leave it behind. I also do get the feeling that you could have some kind of revelation. That revelation, you're deciding after you have this revelation, or something is shown to you, even in your physical environment, you finally decide that this chapter has to close. And then you're moving forward, and what's coming in is that although it takes a little bit of juggling and although it takes some careful maneuvering, you are so optimistic about the direction that you're going into. It's another 7 here. It's just another indication that you're really ready to grow, to expand, to ascend. And I get the feeling that you're like moving forward without waving a flag, without making a whole bunch of announcements. It's like, I'm just going to go. Right? All right. In general, High Priestess, love it when she comes out, because I always feel as if it's confirmation that the messages that have come out thus far are accurate, you know. So for someone. So High Priestess, the Moon card. Okay, 5 of Cups. All right. In the month of January, the breakthrough that you have to happen. You know, somebody may have to tell you, offer you a job, offer you just like a loan or money. But whatever this is, I feel like it's after you've made the conscious decision that you're going to reveal even self, okay, or move in the direction of what you know. I feel as if, you know, there is a plan. And man, it's difficult. The letting go, whatever it's being let go, is hard to let go of. It's hard to let go of. But you know, you could also be feeling some sense of remorse or regret for how many nights have passed, right? Or feeling guilty about how you have to navigate the situation, you know, because I think that whatever action that you're having to take, or whatever plans you're having to make, are absolutely necessary. With the 8 of Coins here under the Moon, it's like whatever efforts you have to take to keep all of this type of thing quiet, under wraps, is just what you have to do. You know it. The High Priestess says you absolutely know that this is the way you have to do it. And so in general, I do feel the sense that if there are any secrets, if there are any things that are left unknown, you may still be spending some time stewing over those actions, those behaviors, those thought patterns that cause you to move in that way. But 100% feel like you're coming out more enlightened. And you may even be having dreams, prophetic dreams. Something from the past may be surfacing in your dreams as well, so that you can understand. While I'm doing this with my hand, it feels as if it feels like I talked about some mental manipulation up here before. Someone, you have to. I feel like you just have to be careful. Just have to be careful, because you know how some people will play with your emotions. They play with your compassion, your caring nature. You know, they know what words to say. Um, They know what things to do and dangle over your head to make you feel as if you can't make a certain choice or decision. I'm just gonna be honest with it. Where, like codependent relationships, narcissistic relationships, just unhealthy attachments. A person constantly threatening. I had a person threaten to kill himself before. you know and so that's kind of energy that I feel there. But you're not responsible for that, you know what I mean? That's very unhealthy, and you don't deserve that type of manipulation. You don't deserve that type of playing on your emotions, okay? So playing with your loyalty, you know and I feel like if there is a threat of that, Psalms 111 and 1 popped up, but that's not your card. Psalms 127 and 4 is your card. But that 11:11 just proved to me that there is definitely a portal opportunity waiting for you to step into higher purpose, higher calling. And also could be a twin flame indicator there, soulmate, if you believe in that. Okay. So Psalms 127 and 4. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are sons born to a man in his youth. Be open to playing a parental role. These are three partners in the human being: the Holy One, blessed be the Holy One, his father, and his mother. So little has changed over the millennia. As a species, we continue to indiscriminately create and kill. When, for instance, was the last time someone told you that he or she prayed for the wisdom to know whether to be a parent? The way in which your life continues to unfold suggests that you are destined to play a role in the life of one or more children, particularly boys. Pray the words of this prayer, and may the divine, the Father of fathers and Mother of mothers, reveal the exact nature of your role. Source of life, do you want me to be a parent? Do you want me to father a child, give birth to a child, raise a child? Show me what you want from me. That's deep. And maybe I'm just reaching. I don't think so, though, because I wouldn't be showing it if it wasn't it. But these three swords, three disappointments, three failures, three heartbreaks, and now you're grasping these and you're saying, for some of you, if this is failed pregnancies, the Leo card the Leo reading may be something for you to review, because the Leo was in their past there was some infertility or some failed pregnancies. Here though, I get the feeling that it could be losses of pregnancies, but also the part that stood out for me is that we continue to indiscriminately create and kill, meaning that there could have been abortion here, and perhaps this is what you find out. you know. Perhaps this is what you find out, that you were hoping to have a baby, um, and that whatever the circumstances surrounding it were, you know, it wasn't honestly communicated with you, that there may have been a terminated pregnancy without your knowledge. And I feel led to just read this other here because it's right next to it, 128:3. Your wife shall be like a fruitful vine within your house, your sons like olive saplings around the table. A committed relationship and our family awaits. The soul of Adam had 613 limbs. Each formed a great root, which in turn contained 600,000 small roots. Each small root concealed within it 600,000 sparks or individual souls. Souls descending from a single root comprised families. Those who are single can be just as content as those coupled, and those who don't have children just as fulfilled as those who do. A committed relationship and or family aren't for everyone in every lifetime. Right now, you see yourself sharing your life with someone and or bringing up little ones. From a Kabbalistic perspective, we enjoy a spiritual kinship with those closest to us, namely our parents, family members, spouses, and children, which results in our reincarnating together in order to help one another ultimately return to the source. Keep doing what you're doing, and one day soon you'll experience the blessings of a committed relationship and or family. Wow. So yeah, it seems like after a few tries, after even just maybe, you know, some people come to a place where they realize that maybe this isn't happening for me yet because I haven't placed myself in the right circumstance for it, right? Maybe I'm not in the right relationship for what I'm meant to do, for the children that I'm meant to father. And it happens, you know. Many people try, but until their circumstance is suitable, you know, based on what that child's soul is supposed to come here and experience, it doesn't happen, you know. And so Virgo, if you're having a if you're having a epiphany about where you are, where you want to be, how your lifestyle suits what you truly desire, how your current partner or the partner that you have just left behind, how they fit into that ideal. You know, this could even be you looking forward at a potential partner and wondering, not even wondering, but acknowledging that this is someone that you do want to build a family with. So it sounds like a beautiful chapter 1, you know, full of change and shift. Tough it out. You got this, you know. You got the strength. You have more than enough strength. And trust that what's meant for you, you know, the role that you're meant to play, you will play, you know. It ain't no game. You know, this is serious. But you're moving in the direction to create the atmosphere for what it is that you truly desire. So thank you so much, Virgo, for listening. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for sharing this video. And thank you so much for being here and just doing this work. You know, thank you. See you guys next month for chapter 2.